Hello, beautiful souls. All right, good Monday morning, at least for me, um, on the west coast of the U.S. There was a couple things that I wanted to talk about, mainly that were triggered in a few sessions that I've been noticing a pattern. But before I get into the pattern, I want to say if you are in the U.S., today is tax day. Yeah, don't get me started. Although I am grateful to have been incarnated in on this into this country, I will say that it just boggles my mind the more I notice, and as we are awakened to the fact that we are taxed on our money that we make, and then we pay sales tax for goods that we purchase, and then we pay property tax for our property that we bought, that we already paid sales tax on. I don't understand how we are all okay with this. I mean, yeah, supposedly, food at a grocery store is not taxed, but you go to a restaurant and it's taxed. It's very fascinating how these taxes, especially, things like in Washington state, gas tax is ridiculous. Then we have a high sales tax. So Washington state does not have an extra income tax other than the federal. But, and of course, anything like alcohol or cigarettes are all like double, quadruple taxed. But anyway, and then, all of these different things that are just like boggling my mind right now about money and like the lottery and how the proceeds are supposed to go to certain things, but they're not. And then there's education and taxes for roads. And I'm just like sitting here going, Anyway, so that's my 2 cents about taxes, which I'm just like sitting here going, my dad was a CPA growing up. And so, like during tax season, we didn't see him very much. He was gone all the time. And if you're an accountant, you get it because it's like, you have your quarterlies and then you have your April 15th-ish deadline and everybody's running to get their stuff done. And I was also thinking about this because one of my good friends, Robert, who passed away in 2023, it still makes me sad to think about it. But, he had not paid his taxes for many years. And so in the 2 years, maybe even longer, before he died, he asked me to help him go through and get everything ready for him to submit his stuff because he was tired of getting, like this looming feeling, like they were going to come down on him at any minute. A lot of us, as we awaken and we decide we don't want to be so much in the system, we're going to discover that this is a bit of an issue. I mean, we know that like things like Venmo and PayPal, now they're reporting, any transactions over a certain amount or any, if you move a certain amount of money like per month, or I'm not sure what it is, but they're, you get a statement from them that if you are making money on these platforms, then you're supposed to be reporting it. Because there are a lot of us that are not working a traditional job anymore. I mean, I don't have the W-2 in my tax packet. I haven't had one in a few years, probably since Well, when COVID hit, I was subbing, so I had one then. But since then, I have not. And I'm going to say something else because I know I saw somebody had posted that they talked about, unemployment and the amount of jobs in the United States. And supposedly the United States is doing pretty well right now. A lot of people, like me, never went on unemployment. Even through the COVID thing, we just made it work. We figured it out. We figured out a different way to make money. And then we never went back to the regular kind of job. Now, I'm not making nearly as much money as I used to make, but I don't really want to go back to that. At least not right now. So anyway, my 2 cents about that. But what I'm saying is that the numbers or whatever they're coming up with for all of these different things when they say, like unemployment is down or this and that, they're not real numbers. I know I had a friend that they lost their job, and so they were at unemployment jumping through the hoops, because you got to jump through the hoops. And they were like, oh my gosh, the place was packed. Interesting times. Oh, the other thing, and this is not obviously to encourage fear of any kind, but it's interesting also. So my sister got COVID, and she tested positive, and so she's been home, but the health department called her and told her that because she hadn't had a fever that she knew of, that she was fine to go out and about with a mask on in public. Just food for thought. I was like, what? Yeah. So apparently COVID's going around. I know the influenza has been going around, but yeah, just FYI, some of these people that you see in the store with a mask on, they might be sick. They're not just loving their mask. But I was like, wait, what? So it's very interesting to go from you must quarantine for this amount of time. In fact, if you're not even vaccinated, you can't go and work in the school, or you can't do this and that, to, oh yeah, you have COVID, but you don't have a fever. You didn't notice you had a fever? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine. Just wear a mask. And then to test to go back to normal, like without any mask or anything, you just have to test negative once, and then again within another 24-hour period, negative twice. Anyway, okay, so that's that. The other thing that, I know I've talked a lot over the years about, clearing your childhood wounding. But I just, in our sessions that we've been doing, and my sessions that I've been doing, even without Kathy, the trauma we went through as a child, right? It causes this fragmentation within us. And some kids, they went out of their body, right? They left, their soul fragment is like, we've noticed that a lot of people have been like slamming them behind doors and leaving them as like, it's interesting because I had a ex-boyfriend who had like this palace in his mind, and that's how he saw his mind, as he called it, the mind palace, with all of these doors and corridors. And so what we're noticing a lot of people around my age of 50-ish, right? That they, due to their childhood trauma, they put that version of them, whenever it happened, back behind a door and locked it within their head. And sometimes they could remember what had happened to them and sometimes they couldn't. But then they would start, like, whenever, they had a traumatic experience, or whenever they got super scared, or if they knew something bad was going to happen, they would just immediately go out of their body and slam that version of them into one of these rooms, and not together. So they're like literal fragments. And so that's been our work, is opening up those doors and bringing those out through a purification, emotional purification process. So these like little kids, because they're almost always kids, are so scared. And I tried to explain to a gal over the weekend that fear and that, well, it was like terror, in the back of her mind, like literally, was affecting her right now, even though she had closed it off and, effectively compartmentalized it. It's still causing her problems right now. So we opened it up, sent that soul aspect up for purification, and then brought all of the fragments back at the end of the session, so that she could start this, integration process of being whole, because she had fragmented herself by compartmentalizing all of these different things that had happened. And I'm just using her as an example, but this is like every single person that we've worked on in the last several weeks, and it's been a lot of sessions. And it's weird how it's like becoming, okay, well, who do we got behind the door today? And then so, I mean, we think we're doing right because, we feel better maybe a little bit in the moment, but then we still carry it with us. So we clear it. And so we can start fresh. And this idea that our past does not define us is super important right now. That we hold, self-compassion, for ourselves, for the things that we went through. That we forgive the people that we believed hurt us, or we know hurt us, that we find it somewhere within us to forgive them. And, we forgive ourselves for the things that we've done, not only to other people, but also to ourselves, through the coping and the numbing and maybe the addictions. And, when we're on this journey and we get to this certain point, we start to notice all of the negative self-talk. It's like a little, I think, what was it this weekend? I mean, I haven't had it so much, but it's like, oh, you never do enough. You're not enough. Oh, you're tired. You can't take a nap. You got to get stuff done. Don't be lazy. Oh, you got to go do this. You can't stay home all day. It's like whatever it is that you might feel like you need to do, you have this little, trying to tell you that that's not good. Or, don't go to bed early. Only lame people go to bed early, or old people go to bed early. Well, sometimes we're like tired and we need to take a nap, or maybe we do need to go to bed early. Or, like, don't eat that thing because that's not good for you. And I understand that there are a lot of different voices. Maybe some are for good, some are for bad. But if you notice this little voice that is always telling you that you're wrong about what you want or what you feel like you need, it's time to take a look at that. Here's the thing. We were programmed, a lot of us, to not see the value in having fun. I know that's freaking crazy. Not see the value in enjoying things to the fullest. Like, it's very much this puritanical view of, work hard, be successful, make a lot of money. And, that's not puritanical, but it's like this work thing. Work, work, work. The whatever it is that is sensual or pleasing or brings joy and bliss is frivolous. Well, no, it's not. Whatever it is that makes you laugh, do more of that. Whatever it is that brings you joy, do more of that. It's not frivolous to go outside and take a walk. And it's not frivolous to take a nap if you're tired. And you know what? You don't have to have a reason. You don't always have to deprive yourself of the thing that you want. You are worthy. And I know that there's this song, oh man, what is it? 92, Legend 92. And it's, you're more than enough. And that is the message that keeps coming in time after time. All of these people that we're working with, and even for me, I am more than enough. I was told repeatedly or believed that I was too much. But I've never been too much. I've always been perfectly crafted. I'm a deep feeler for a reason. And even if the people that surrounded me didn't understand, that doesn't mean I was too much. So we're working through a lot of programming, a lot of conditioning, a lot of these little inner critics, which I want to call negative thought form entities that are like telling us that we're bad, or, it's like whatever it is that promotes more shame within us. And shame is one of those things. It is no good. It does no good. Most of the time, it's a lie. So become aware of what shame feels like. And when you feel it, be like, is this even real? Like, why am I having this emotional response right now? Usually shame for me has had to do with other people's expectations. And then my pleaser wanting to meet those. So fuck that. Excuse my French. Like, mm-mm. And for me, shame feels like a burning sensation, on my face. And so it's like for me, when I was first grade, maybe second grade, I got caught stealing candy from my teacher's drawer. That was the feeling. The feeling where you have done something wrong. Well, it's like, figure out how come you did something wrong. What is the thing? And yeah, sometimes we just do wrong stuff. Own it and move on, but don't sit and ruminate in the shame. It is one of the lowest vibratory states besides stagnation and death. And so it's no wonder that all of these things, are crafted to keep people in a shame cycle. And so notice it, because you are more than enough, and we make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, and we just learn from them. We let go of the shame, and we pull with us the wisdom from it, whatever that experience was. But we don't have to keep that nugget of shame any longer. Anyway, have a great day. I was going to pull cards. Maybe I'll do a different live. Love you guys.